before I came on the course, I'd been off work for about 6 months. Before I stopped work, every day at work I would have to go off during the middle of the day and go and lock myself in the toilets, and I would go to sleep for 20 minutes, half an hour. I would often be asleep in the car park at work before going into work. It would feel dangerous driving into work, just so tired, and couldn't think properly, so I wasn't really able to do my job properly. And so my company looked into seeing if they could sort out ill health early retirement for me. And while they were doing that, I stopped work for the 6 months on their recommendation. And then while they were looking into the ill health early retirement, they got in touch with the consultants I'd been talking to, and one of the consultants said, well, just try one more thing. I've seen some amazing results with this lightning process, so I suggest you go and do that and then see where you are after that. Socially, I would still try and go out with my friends, but I wouldn't drink with them. I wasn't much fun there. Sometimes I would be going to sleep in the pub. I would often leave early. You know, sometimes I'd still go away on lads' weekends and things, but we'd go out to, I don't know, some great little French port town with nightclubs and bars, and I would have a drink in a bar, and then I'd go back to the car while all the rest of them, I'd go back to the car for a sleep, while everyone else went out for more drinks and out to a nightclub, and then I'd just be in the car when they came back later on. I worked really, really hard to try and keep my fitness, and I just couldn't do it. And then every time after I'd exercised, I knew my thinking would be much worse for the next day or two. So in the end, I'd virtually given up that, and I'd got myself into the frame of mind really where I didn't anticipate getting any enjoyment out of anything I did, and my whole plan was just to do whatever I needed to do to help bring my kids up, get them out and off, grown up, and after that I had no plans at all because I just wasn't getting anything out of life. I have joint pain, inflammation in the joints. I have ulcerative colitis, so tummy pains, and then muscular pains from when I was running. So Friends Provident were looking to arrange an ill health early retirement for me. So they contacted my GP, and he was supportive, and said that before he was going to agree to that, he wanted to get in touch with the specialists I'd been seeing. So there were a couple of specialists, one in King's College Hospital in London, and they said, well, the outlook isn't very good, Steve's had it for a long time, maybe a bit early to talk about early retirement, but we're not very optimistic. And then there was another doctor down in Sussex, Dr. Broughton, I think it was. And he said he'd just seen some fantastic results from people doing the lightning process. And so before we did anything else, perhaps I should consider that. I knew that it had been invented by Phil Parker, who was, I think, a physiotherapist or an osteopath. And that intrigued me, because certainly at the time I felt this was a physical illness, and I was quite annoyed by people suggesting that CBT and graded exercise was the way to get over it, because I tried all that and worked so hard at that and not really made any progress. So I decided not to look too much into it, just to come along with a completely open mind and see what happened. I was interested in a lot of the science behind the lightning process. So some of the, I found some of the videos really interesting and intriguing. And I felt that the explanation of my illness by Phil, Parker and Linda was believable and fitted in with my experience, whereas a lot of what people had said to me in the past didn't fit with my experience, and I found it very difficult to accept. So I was able to accept this, and I was able to put it into practice and try stuff, and I could feel the changes. So after the first night, where we're asked to run through the process many times, I could feel some differences. I could feel my brain clearing. I could feel tingling, and I thought, oh, well, actually, this is really interesting stuff. A month or two ago, I got in touch with Linda and said I've cycled 102 miles, and I thought that was quite a landmark. So I thought she might want to know. In terms of health, yes, I'm full-time at work. I don't ever have to go off and sleep. I don't feel any danger in driving anymore. I'm doing a good job. No time off sick. Don't think I've had any days off sick last year. A couple of years before maybe. This year's my 50th birthday, and I've just got a million things planned for me, my friends and family, that I can really enjoy stuff. I can go into work and I get so much positive feedback at work about the way I am, the positivity. It's more than positivity. It's confidence to make changes, going out of my comfort zone and making changes, making things happen. You know, probably a couple of times in the last month, people at work have said, I always enjoy it when we get together, because I always feel better afterwards than when I went in, which is fantastic. And so obviously all that same sort of outlook and I don't know, sort of, it's more than a positive state of mind. It's a sort of state of well-being that rubs off on the family as well, because they're seeing me in a much better place now than ever I was when they were younger. I've done hundreds of things since that I couldn't possibly have done before. Yeah, just getting out and about, enjoying myself, much more time with my friends, out and about with the kids and having a great time. Taking the kids to football matches all the time, cycling. Well, just my whole life is different, because before I had nothing to look forward to, and now I've just got a million things. Linda's setting is much more relaxed, more perhaps a bit more involvement from all the people rather than being spoken to. Everyone's very involved and everyone gets to know each other, and it's a nice, relaxed and enjoyable experience. I would say coming on the course with Linda at Swallows has changed my life. And if they want to change their lives, then maybe it will do the same for them. I can't promise anything, but you know, it couldn't have been better for me. I find it staggering. If I had looked on the web before I came to do the lightning process, I feel pretty sure that I wouldn't have come on it. I can't understand the people who criticise it. You know, I didn't understand what it was all about beforehand. I was sceptical about it. But I've had enormous changes. I've seen loads and loads of other people who've had similar enormous changes. And so I know that it works for an enormous number of people. And so I feel slightly resentful to the people who criticise it and who stop other people getting the opportunity to come and do it. During the third day, I think it was, we spoke about what we were going to do to report back after a certain number of days to see if there was something we'd done that we that we wouldn't have done before. So some people chose, you know, cycling along the seafront, but I chose having a meeting with my boss at work to talk through the position and whether it was right for me to go back or not. And so at that point, yes, I met up with my boss in the pub, said I'm completely ready to come back to work. He asked me if I was sure, and I said absolutely. And so a week or two later, I was back at work. Started off part-time for a little while, but was soon up to full-time, and have been pretty much full-time since then.